What's up? We made it another day. Gotta thank God. I'm out here. I really did not feel like it today. Woo! I woke up. I was like, man, I do not feel like making the walk today. And I almost had an excuse because I will be taking a boxing class a little later. So, of course, my mind was like, well, you're going to you're going to work out a little later, so you don't need to go on the walk. I guess that's somewhat true, but the walks have taken on a twofold purpose now. Not only is it for health, but it is for the important task capturing my thoughts, shooting the content, and oh, what's that? Like, I think it's a little cat. I'm gonna tell you, a lot of time when I'm out here, a cat is a blessing to see. Get the skunk, you'll get the raccoon, and the occasional. What is the, no, I don't get like a coyote, but the skunks and the raccoons, yes. And apparently, there is a wild peacock around here somewhere. I have never seen it, but when I go on the neighborhood website, people have captured a picture of a peacock that roams the neighborhood. Although I'm not sure, I'm not native to this area. Sure, somebody lost their peacock. Must have been somebody like the Tiger King, man. Somebody has animals like the Tiger King, and they lost their peacock here in the city. So I didn't feel like it today. I said, let me get out there, start walking, and start talking, capture these thoughts. Couple of things I wanted to go over today. I was really thinking, one, I feel like I got catfished about a story, and I'm glad I looked into it because I seen a lot of other people reporting on it, but I didn't see anyone report on the conclusion of the story. We hear a rumor and we just run with it. And I didn't hear anyone report on the conclusion. So here I am. I look it up, and it was definitely a catfish, as far as I can tell, right? Assuming everybody is telling the truth. This was specifically about Bruno Mars, who has had a pretty extensive residency in Las Vegas lately. And the rumor was that his residency is so long because he is up to $50 million in debt. Well, after reading up on it today, like I said, seeing everybody reporting on it, and obviously it's just rumors and people like gossip. I don't put it past anybody. It can definitely be true, but as far as I could tell, it was not true. MGM came out and said Not only is that the story of the $50 million debt false, but they even went to the extent to say that he owes the hotel, the casino, no debts. He is not in debt at all. So, you see what I'm saying? I said, I don't think we got coyotes, but hey, they say, speak of the devil. Pretty sure that's a coyote right there. Okay. Oh, snap, there's two of them. Oh, it's a different time right now. They roam in the neighborhood, probably looking for raccoons. Hey, yo, it's getting real though. Okay. So who knows what's the proper protocol when running into that's crazy. And there's nobody, everybody must have got the memo on the coyotes because there's no one out here walking today. Who knows what to do when you run into coyotes? I have no idea. Okay. I'm going to try to keep pushing. It looks like they've gone into the wilderness bushes. Yeah. Hey, yes, you out here with the wildlife. They live at night, man. They nocturnal. So they doing their thing. They don't want to be messed with. And I don't want to be messed with. Okay. But MGM says it's not true. Bruno Mars does not owe them any money. So it's like, well, not going to speak on that story. But I think the lesson that I was thinking about is still a good one. So I'll speak in general about it and we'll figure out if there's any good modern day examples as I talk about it. And then as we get to e-commerce, as we get to the business, I'm going to talk about the growth of e-commerce and selling products online. What do I think is going to look like as we go forward? All right, that's what we're going to talk about today. Let's pray. Dear God, we thank you for another day. We thank you that you protected us, woke us up again. Now we pray that your spirit continues to guide us. Help us to have the perseverance we talked about, the Lord, and help us to have the temperance that I want to speak about today. Let us do all this to your glory, but may it be a blessing to our businesses and to our families as well. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. All right. Here we go. So, I want to talk about temperance, but I want to talk about it from the perspective of our passions. Today, oftentimes when we speak about passions, we tell people to be passionate. We speak about being passionate in a positive term. And for the most part, that's okay. I think what we're telling people is not, it's to be intense, but intense in an honest fashion, to love what we do and do it like we love it. I think that's what we're telling people to do when we tell them to pursue their passions, to be passionate. Sometimes we will use it as a warning to those around us when we tell them that I am passionate, or that we're passionate about the things that we love. And so to think about it is oftentimes a very positive thing in the way and manner that we use the word passion. I can, I think I remember a time where it was used almost as a warning from my mother-in-law for her then, obviously still her daughter, my then girlfriend, and eventually would become my wife. Her warning for me was that she is passionate about the people she loves. And I think this is a good use of the word as I am trying to present it today. We are passionate about the things we love. And we can be passionate about things that we don't necessarily love. That's because passion speaks to something deeper. I think we naturally associate it with the things we love because we associate emotion with the things we love. Makes us angry, it makes us happy. Or we'll get angry for the things we love. The things we love can fulfill us. And so that's why we say we are passionate about those things. I think speaking to the feelings that those things cause within us. But historically, your passions are something that you are supposed to resist. You are supposed to resist your passions. You are supposed to approach your passions with temperance, with moderation. This is how you're supposed to approach your passions. The idea about being passionate about something is that something can make you irrational, right? You lose all control of thought, emotion. That is how you identify your passions. And so naturally, it can be family, it can be loved ones, because if someone messes with our loved ones, if someone mistreats our loved ones, we will prove how passionate we are about them. It will definitely spur our emotions. But there are other things that can spur our emotions that are not as positive as the defense of a loved one. I, there are other things that can make us irrational, like gambling, like the feeling we get when we gamble, right? Wonder how people get addicted to it. is because it spurs emotion, the adrenaline rush, the feeling of I don't know what's going to happen next, but it's going to be awesome. It could be really awesome or really bad. Some people enjoy or are passionate about that adrenaline roller coaster, that uncertain roller coaster. And so they can become passionate about it, addicted to it, and that's why they chase it. And I guess I should say, I'm obviously no medical professional, no psychological professional. If you're having problems, obviously seek help. But I'm speaking to something common to the human experience. We all have things that either spur emotion or cause us to pursue it irrationally. For a lot of us, that is physical pleasure, right? It's something we have to deal with because we can become passionate about it. It is the irrational thinking that causes us to pursue something until it actually becomes detrimental to us. Even as I'm thinking about this, I'm thinking about the young man on the podcast Fresh and Fit and how he possibly has gotten his girlfriend pregnant. It's a whole long story. You can go ahead and research it, but it's a classic story. How young men oftentimes are not able to approach situations with temperance, moderation, to think logically through your actions, to understand the future implications it may have. No, instead, your passions cause you to be stuck in the moment, considering only the benefit in the moment, in the present, not thinking of the consequences in the future. So it's not a story just for the young podcaster from Fresh and Fit. This is a story for all of us. We all must control our passions. And the first thing for controlling passions is identifying your passion. What is it that you pursue that often causes you to pursue it irrationally? That causes you to pursue it without regard to future consequences. We know the big ones, right? I love it because, and we often look down on people whose their passions are often outwardly seen, right? Those struggling with drinking addictions, gambling addictions, even, and it doesn't even have to be addictions, right? We label the addiction again when we see the outward effects, but some people have gambling passions and they're still able to function, right, within their families. It may affect their family a little bit or affect their relationships a little bit, but I think that's enough. I think that's enough to identify. Here is a passion of mine that must be controlled it must be handled with temperance and moderation. I must consider this urge, this desire, this pleasure I have in light of all of my responsibilities and the other roles that I play within my life, right? And I'm just talking about gambling because I talk about Bruno Mars, and turns out he's not, he might not be in trouble with gambling, but it is a good observation. We should think about those things that cause us to be irrational in light of all of our other responsibilities. We have other things that we have to do. We have other people that are depending on us. We cannot let our seeking of pleasure, our passion, to derail us from all that we have to do, from the larger picture and scope of our lives. And so that's why the passions are meant to be controlled. I'm thinking of the movie, The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. And in there is the character, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. And they're just, I should put that on the list. I'm going to shoot another video about the book, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. There are some lessons there as well. But in the movie, which I believe is a book as well, The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, the character Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, in one of the parts, Dr. Jekyll is having a hard time controlling Mr. Hyde, the beast that is within him. And I believe that Captain Nemo tells him to control his passions. I thought that was an awesome moment in there. That is what our passions are. They are the Hyde to our Jekyll. Dr. Jekyll is the respected doctor amongst the community. Mr. Hyde is a part of Dr. Jekyll. But Mr. Hyde must be controlled. When Mr. Hyde comes out, he does all sorts of unthinkable things. I'm not going to get too far into the book because I'm going to shoot another video. Maybe we'll talk about Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde on tomorrow's walk. But when Mr. Hyde comes out, he does all manner of unthinkable things. He can't control his passions. He is a picture of unbridled unbridled passion of Dr. Jekyll. And Captain Nemo rightly tells Dr. Jekyll to control his passions. And so we can see how that is important in life in general, but especially in business. You want to be successful. For the entrepreneur, a successful business become our passion. We can pursue it in an irrational manner because what causes it to be irrational is that we want the success right now. And so may do things that cause us not to think about the future implications. You know, we believe it's all going to go well. Entrepreneurs probably are typically optimists. We believe the future is going to be better than today. And so we can be willing to take irrational risk to pursue success in business. So we must control our passions. We must be able to identify that we really love success. We are passionate about it, but you don't want to achieve it in a at all cost manner, right? To try to achieve something at all costs means that we're willing to give up anything for it, right? What does that mean for your other responsibilities and considerations? What does that mean for your family? What does that mean for your job? What does that mean for your health? Willing to sacrifice all of those things to achieve success in business. It really is a balancing. I'll tell you right now, you are going to have to sacrifice. You are going to have to sacrifice. But let's control our passions. So maybe if you have to sacrifice time with family, maybe you have to be intentional at other moments to make sure you spend time with them, right? There's quantity of time and there's quality of time. And so maybe for us entrepreneurs, because we have other pursuits, we may not be able to spend the quantity of time we would like. But if we are intentional and set aside time, we could definitely have those quality moments with our families, with our friends, to handle our other responsibilities. Okay, that's it about passions. Let's shift past the halfway point in the walk. I'm actually walking downhill now. And now we will shift to e-commerce, specifically in the light of all of the stores that have been closing late. You may have seen stories about the 99-cent only brand closing all of its stores. Is it all of it? I don't know. I think it's like 371 stores. I think that's what I've seen. But it's it's either all or a very, very large percentage of their store. I mean, we all know that this inflation thing is crazy. Although I see stories where people like, oh, inflation's back under control. I'm like, well, people don't feel that way. And that's what really matters, right? And and I am one. I'm going to respect the numbers, but I do feel it when out with my family, have to go buy groceries, got to buy gas. Like maybe it's a rippling effect, and it just hasn't gotten down to me yet. But and and inflation under control doesn't mean there's no inflation. It means that inflation is just not as bad as it was before. And obviously, special circumstances will give a nod to everything that went on with the coronavirus. I don't even know if I can say that now. I can say that now or when I post this on YouTube. They'll probably put the little Wikipedia link under my picture. But they're a little more forgiving about people talking about C-19 now. So we'll give a hat tip to that. It's a special circumstance. But we cannot act like it didn't happen. So all of the money that was printed, all of the money that was given out, whether you agree with it or not, with who it was given to and why it was given, and in some cases, why it continues to be given. Point is, we gave it, and it's gone. And all of that money is out in society. And so that naturally means that we're going to see inflation. That makes it hard for companies who build their brand and their clientele on selling low-priced items. 99-cent only stores have not been selling things for 99 cents for a long time. I remember when those kind of stores came to my neighborhood. I was very young, and it was awesome to walk in there and see all the things that were under a dollar. And then I remember, I think there was like a 95-cent store next to my house, which switched to 99 cents. And then I think there was a store that has so many animals. Bushes just rattling every time I walk by. And then there was a 99-cent store. And then I think across the street, they started a $1.09 store. And when I was young, I didn't know what inflation was, but even when you would walk inside the 99-cent store, not everything inside there was, that 99 cents. I think the $1.09 was just from people complaining about the fact that, if it's 99 cents, you buy it and then you got to pay the tax. It usually comes out to $1.09. So the point being is that, inflation is real. It's always been real. But those stores that build their brand and build their clientele on low price items, it becomes very hard to maintain a profitable store. And so just think about how, if you started a 99-cent store, just one store, but this store has built a national brand, able to open up stores all across the country, employ however many people at those stores, all based on the idea of low ticket items that they oftentimes get from overseas, and they're able to sell them here for around $1, let's say. But because of all that we've been through and what we're going through right now, it's not possible to sell those things, still be profitable, still pay all those people. You're probably battling it on both ends, not only on the inflation, but in the raise of minimum wage as well. So the only way to continue to be profitable is to raise your prices, but raising prices goes directly against the brand and what the customer is expecting when they come into the store. So what do? Well, 99-cent store has decided that they are going to shut down a bunch of stores, maybe all of them. Keep it going. I should be better at remembering these things or looking these things up before I walk. But I want this just to be a conversation. I don't want to have to be a reporter, not a journalist. Okay? But see all those stores closing. If you're from the Bay Area, stores closing everywhere. I think eventually, I'm not big on San Francisco shopping areas, but what's it called? Union Square. I believe all of those stores are closing. I think the big one in the news was the Macy's that is closing there. I think not last month. Last month was March. A month before that, February, Macy's announces that it's closing in San Francisco. You can look that up. The Rite Aids. I have a Rite Aid not too far from my house. The Rite Aids are closing a bunch of stores as well. And I think a major mall I read recently down in Mississippi is, I believe, like the city owned the land and in hopes of, bringing back commerce to there, bringing back like a mall type atmosphere there. But finally, the city, the local jurisdiction sold that property and I think it's going to be used for something else. You can look that up. But the point is, a lot of these retail spaces are becoming obsolete. They are no longer going to be having brick and mortar locations. They are closing down these stores. But as I've said in other videos, I'm going to say in this video, man, I hope that the wind is not too much. It's very windy right now for the audio. But these stores are closing, but they're not necessarily going out of business. Okay? They're moving their operations online. I said this before, I'll say it again. You can look this up. Only 14% of all transactions in America are done online. Only 14%. So when you ask yourself, is e-commerce saturated? If you've seen this video, the answer is no. No, 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 no. There is plenty of opportunity to sell online. These places, although it is sad for those local neighborhoods because they need stores, they need places to go, especially to find low price items. I recognize the need, but given the climate, we understand why they're making the decision, even if we may not agree with the broader picture of making that decision. But those places aren't going out of business, they're just going on. And so this is twofold lesson. Number one, we all should get better at learning how to buy things online. It's just the way of the future. When the television came out, plenty of people talking about they're not going to get a television. Here they call that one-eyed demon, right? And now everybody got a television. Everybody got multiple televisions. When the cell phone came out, everybody, why would I want a phone in my pocket? Why would I want a phone in my car? I'm not doing that. I don't want a phone. I want to be on the phone everywhere I go. Eventually, everybody got a phone. Maybe everybody didn't, but those who don't, it's just not going to be part of mainstream society. And maybe that's okay. Computer. People still resist the computer today. Why would I want a computer? I don't want to have to sit down here and do this. I don't understand what it's for. I can do everything I need to do when I walk outside. Okay. But time marches on, technology marches on, and those who do not learn how to use the tools will be at the mercy of those who know how to use the tool. Case in point, some of these people need these stores in their neighborhoods, but there's nothing stopping them from going online. I'm sure there's a broader discussion to have about having the tools, about accessing the internet, but for the most part, those people can go online. And human beings are resilient. People will get what they need. They will learn how to get what they need. But for us trying to chart the future and trying to understand what's best for our business and for our family, getting into e-commerce is an awesome way to hedge against inflation, to build another income because things are more expensive, to get on the front wave of what is happening in society. Now, I'm going to speak from a Black person's point of view. I have to be honest. There are things that have been done to us in America that have prevented us from taking full advantage of the waves of wealth that have happened in America. Specifically, the largest two, that being real estate and the stock market. I would even say, just the growth of industry in general. Okay, we understand there's been, like they like to use the word, systemic things done to us that have prevented us from taking advantage of those waves of American wealth and economy that has grown over the years, over the generations. We understand. Now, here comes the part where I try to hold us accountable. Largely, for the most part, there is nothing stopping us from getting online. There is nothing stopping us from selling things online. In fact, I love the internet because for the most part, it is a faceless transaction. For the most part, it's a faceless transaction. I sell things like diapers, t-shirts, bottles, hygiene products, shampoo, toothpaste, on the Walmart platform. And as far as I know, I could be selling it to the most racist person ever. I could be selling it to racist government officials who actually have the power to enact racist policies, right? The truth is, they are helping me build Black wealth by buying my products because they have no idea. It's a faceless transaction. And so we as Black people have to use the tools. We have to use what's at our fingertips to build our wealth, to take care of our families. We don't live people in previous generation where they had to show their face. I think about my grandfather. He made it happen where he he had to show his face. And being a Black man from the South, he made it happen. And he definitely experienced more racism than I have. And so that's what motivates me, because I'm like, I haven't experienced all that he's experienced. So that's why with the tools of the internet and e-commerce, I know that I can build my wealth. I can build a business just like he did. He was a business owner. So if this resonates with you and you're ready to build something for yourself or for your family, now's the time to connect with me. Go ahead, comment. Let's comment Walmart today. Comment Walmart down there in the comments, and I will connect with you, show you how you can start your e-commerce business. If you have a different small business and you're just looking for someone who knows about marketing, who knows about running ads, who knows about setting up a CRM so you can get leads and follow up with those leads, automated emails. If you need that kind of help in your business, just type help in the comments. Let's set up a consultation and see if I can help. All right, coming to the end of my walk. Guys, be blessed. We'll see you next time.